Okay. So, I can't even compute this because there's a lot of talk, and it's sort of like commonly accepted that, Donald Trump is a fool and a baby and an idiot, and he needs to be constantly placated, and he needs a crew of sycophants to feed his fantasy life. And then it's also commonly accepted that even people who were maybe on the opposite end that were president, who tried, like someone like Barack Obama, who tried to remain a normal, approachable person, there's only so much you can do when you have that many trappings to sort of keep yourself somewhat anchored in reality. But then you have people who are in the news business, and we already know that they're totally overcompensated and they have a small elite audience. But you might think, even if you're just like a morning news person, like I would really like to think that no matter how much I reached in my career, that I would always have people to say like, hey, dude, that's just embarrassing. Don't do that. That's just a bad call. Let alone like, what are your genuine thoughts on how I'm covering this story? Am I getting it wrong? How about just like the basic, like, this is shockingly embarrassing. And of course, when I speak about morning anchors and shockingly embarrassing, I obviously could be leading to nothing other than Joe Scarborough's musical efforts. Joe Scarborough, who, what do we call him? Like Bro Elvis Costello or something. He's been singing crappy songs for a very long time. He wrote a very just deeply embarrassing. He wrote a song about 9/11, which was almost like another 9/11. Imagine being a victim of this terrorist attack and realizing that some blowhard with a Starbucks cup like commandeered a studio in Midtown Manhattan to write a song honoring you. Think of how bad that is. And now Joe Scarborough and Mika, who are totally not friends with Donald Trump anymore, like totally done. Like they used to be besties and then they get into fights and then they'd be besties again. But now it's like over. And you can really tell that it's like over. And Joe Scarborough is not going to do anything like we're going to play in a second, like he used to with Trump, because Joe Scarborough, along with some, and just watch this segment. You would think that they are like announcing that they're going to host a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Like next we're back with like Malala Yousafzai to talk about the Women's March. Okay, this is a really serious looking Mika. And oh my God, she must be in love with this guy. And a sort of just putting like just the height of self-satisfaction, Joe Scarborough. They're talking about the Women's March. And Joe has released a song for the Women's March. I apologize in advance. If you're like me, as much as I enjoy mocking and ridiculing things, I actually get very embarrassed on behalf of other people very easily. And I found this deeply embarrassing and uncomfortable to watch and listen to. But this is the type of thing that I do as an anchor for the public good. Take a look at this. And then after that, we're going to take a little brief trip down memory lane, which I'll help set up.
Still living in its shadow. We'll talk to him about that in a moment. And speaking of volatile times and protest movements, we go to break with some of the powerful images from over the weekend as millions of Americans gathered in cities and streets across the nation for the 2018 Women's March.
Once in your life, you may get the chance to stand against a column of tanks.
What this president is doing is just so wrong.
Holding up your hand.
Oh my God, this fucking guy.
And once in your life,
we all in this movement together.
You may get the chance to say,
thanks for ruining Common.
We're not stopping.
Words like deep within your heart.
It's so generic.
That change the outcome of a day.
We cannot have somebody like this in the White House.
Once in your life, you may dare hold out your
resist the racism.
To a stranger in need.
What if the resistance actually does like have a successful coup and makes this the national anthem?
Then I would want Trump reinstated immediately.
And how
All right, I can't take it. Like really, truly, like it's awkwardly embarrassing to watch. Just as a brief reminder, and of course, again, this stuff doesn't matter really because hypocrisy is utterly irrelevant. But of course, when Scarborough was in Congress, he voted for all sorts of anti-abortion measures, was a regular proponent of the contract with America, was a top Gingrich lieutenant, worked to undermine public health care, and, you know, generally abused people and was kind of really signed up on the Republican agenda. I'm sure that he's made a couple of reversals on, you know, I don't care if people get abortions or whatever now. He is, he voted... He voted for the Medicare Preservation Act of 1995, which was projected to cut Medicare by $270 billion over 10 years. And he also voted against the Small Business Jobs Protection Act of 1996, which at this time raised the minimum wage to $5.15 an hour. He had a conservative voting record on economic, social, and foreign policy issues. So he was just a sort of mega far-right scumbag. Instead of just a sanctimonious hack centrist. I guess you have their tweets. Of course, Joe Scarborough has a frigging Winston Churchill avatar. Can this guy be like any more like there has to be some part of him that isn't that lame. And then Mika, I love Stand It Too. I love it too. Stand by Scarborough is a song for our times. I'm Mika. The guy must be doing something right. Whatever has gotten him to get that level. The woman you're with loves you if she is pretending to like that song. Now,
or also like some of the financial benefits will accrue to her, maybe.
Maybe if
Those
you're downloading
sales?
that, it's some whatever morons inside the Beltway are that's buying some mink for Mika or whatever it is she wears. Now, just a brief. Now, look. When this happened, I laughed, and a lot of people laughed, because it was so disgusting. And this actually, even by Trump standards back then, was kind of mind-blowing. Now, I thought nothing would surprise me about Trump. But when he made fun of a reporter with a serious neurological, I think, like muscular dystrophy, like a really serious, just like not like a fun ethnic accent, not like a fun, like not like Trump's usual stuff, just like, this person's in enormous physical pain because of a disease that they have no control of. I'm going to do an impression in front of them that even like a 10-year-old would already be like, that seems kind of mean. At a campaign rally. Now, we're going to play a clip of this for a reason because I want you to check out Mr. Resistance, and actually to some extent Miss Resistance's response to this clip. Joe Scarborough wasn't singing a hacky, annoying, pedantic song to co-opt the Women's March. He was enjoying some of Trump's best material only a couple of summers ago.
New Jersey draws the prober's eye, written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This was 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
Oh, my God.
In an interview with Breitbart News,
What
Trump,
a show.
You guys.
Like Willie Geist, what a show.
Serious issue. You can't. No,
I just thought it was imitation of the guy. And you know what? There is one element of truth to what Trump's saying that is true and funny, because the poor Washington Post reporter writes this at the time. Okay. And now he is really Willie backing up, going, oh, I don't know what I saw. Well, listen.
I have to admit, I liked that Joe Scarborough a lot more than songwriter Joe Scarborough. There's a true meathead scumbag.
Once in your life.
Once in your life, you do the same impression. But now, the insane racist trust fund baby lunatic isn't my friend anymore. So I'll do a stupid song to try to hustle suburbanites. Wow. That's the thing about Trump, is he he always reveals that in some ways these people are all a lot worse than he is. At least he's just right that direct scumbag to the gut.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos